Joshua Ramos, and I love J. Ross TV.
What's up, y'all? This your boy J. Ross, hanging out with my cat Joshua. Y'all, we in St. Louis. He just finished hitting up with the man himself, Mr. Ramsey Lewis. Josh is bass player extraordinaire. Now, hey Josh, now everybody say you dressed up, man. You got on your shiny shoes, your tie and everything. But now, what did it take for you to get to this? Like when you first started playing, you know, what was it like back then?
I started playing in high school. I started playing in a church, and I mean, it's always just been, I love music, and I enjoy it. It's beautiful. And played in high school. I started playing jazz. I started playing some gospel music, and my love of music has carried me so far, and I try to stay close to my first love of music, and not taking it too seriously. Even though I'm dressed up this way today, it's because Ramsey Lewis makes us dress up, so we gotta wear suits.
Right, I know that's right.
But I try to, we play gospel with him, and we do some jazz, and I try to keep it. I try not to be condescending or anything with the music. It's all just, if I can touch people and if we can all have a good time with music, that's what's important to me.
So now, was jazz your first love, or was it the gospel?
My first bass player that I started off hearing was Abraham Laboriel.
Oh, that's my cat.
With some of the Ron Canoli.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like God is Able and Lift Him Up. And that was, my parents as Christians, they stopped listening to a lot of secular music.
Right.
So we didn't have, even though I'm Puerto Rican, there wasn't a lot of salsa playing in the house initially. It was mostly Ron Canoli, and I remember some of Abraham Laboriel's bass solos and how exciting that music was to me.
Right.
And that's my first initial encounters with music. And I remember in high school playing Sir Duke.
Oh, yeah.
Getting that line under my fingers and playing it with the concert band. And that's one of my earliest memories of music.
Now, growing up, your parents, were they very supportive of you playing an instrument, or they want you to get a job or go outside and play football or baseball or find a girlfriend or something?
Well, it seems like a lot of family members, since it's different to be a musician, it's different to go on tour and have music be your living, which it's my living, to play music. I do nothing but play bass around Chicago and with Ramsey Lewis and with some different people, and I've never been able to land the actual day job.
Oh, yeah?
Even when I didn't have a lot of money after college or at some point in college, I tried to get a job once, and luckily I didn't, and I started getting a lot of gigs. Different family members will ask things like, when are you going to get a real job? Or when are you going to start having some kids? And are you, my grandfather would be like, well, after music, you have to, find something that's going to pay the bills. And I said, with music, I intend to do this until the day I die, until I can't play music anymore.
Yeah.
And other people, they retire, and they're happy to retire. Like my mom, she retired, and I'm happy for her. But I hope I don't ever have to retire from music. It's my passion, and after I do a gig, a lot of times I'll go home and work on some bass stuff, or if I didn't think something was up to par, I try to work it out.
Yeah. So let me ask you this real quick. So your passion and love for music caused you to sacrifice, in a sense, some things that traditionally your relatives thought you should be doing. Just like working, like getting a real job. So how did you defeat that fear in your mind to say, well, music is going to pay my bills, music is going to afford me a lifestyle which I'm comfortable with, instead of like getting a job working at the packing house or something, or counting bottles. I don't know.
Well, the way things worked out, since there's programs like Merit Music in Chicago, and there's a Merit School of Music in Chicago, and there's a pretty good jazz scene in Chicago, and there's a lot of people playing jazz, and there's gospel. There's a good momentum of music in Chicago, and having played it from about the age of 12, and playing it in high school, and the after-school jazz bands that are available in church, it got to so that I was doing gigs, and the momentum I gained in playing music, it made it so that I could make a living doing it. So it was never a serious problem.
Okay, cool.
You know, to deal with the people and family members saying, how's the music going? Are you going to get a real job? I would see them, they're, complaining about work maybe, and, saying they can't wait till they retire, and, not working on their work, whatever job they had, after they were done with it, and me enjoying what I'm doing so much, and seeing different philosophers and people saying, you should only do what you love. You should do what you love to do and just focus on that and worry about the money after. It seems if I just do that and just focus on what I love to do, which is to play music, that everything will work out, and it has so far.
Yeah.
I mean, I teach at Columbia College in Chicago. I play with Ramsey Lewis. I play with Marquise Hill, who just won the Thelonious Monk competition.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I have music to learn for Monday, got music to learn for Sunday, I got music to learn for the rest of the week after that. And so this is just doing what I love, which is music. So that's worked out so far like that.
All right, y'all. Once again, we in St. Louis, hanging out with the Big Cat J. Y'all just got through hitting with Ramsey Lewis at Jazz at the Bistro. But let me ask you this now: in playing with Ramsey Lewis, is there a different approach that you would use as opposed to another artist? What's your thought process on something like that, or do you just keep your formula straight?
Well, with Ramsey Lewis, there's a lot of dynamics. There's a lot of quiet. And then we bring some fire sometimes too, but sometimes we get real quiet. So whereas with other bands where you might just rock out and play loud, like you might see a great gospel band or a great church band or a great rock band or any band for that instance, and you might play real loud.
Right.
And maybe the dynamics would kind of stay at the same place. You're just playing loud, not worrying about playing quiet. When I started playing with Ramsey, with Mr. Lewis, he told me that I need to come down sometimes and follow him. And the approach that I have with him is when we're playing straight ahead, I try to back up what he's doing. I try to listen to the piano and really, whenever there's a soloist, they're the centerpiece at that time.
Right.
And you have to try and do that. And with him, I have to play under him and follow his lead. And not just groove and not just play pocket, which it's important to play pocket, not play too much. And I've learned from him, not to give it all away the first few choruses. He's like, save some for later. So keep it in the pocket initially, but also follow him. And if you do that, it's kind of like, coaxing the music out. You don't force, I try not to force the music out. I try to follow and find my place in the band and play a part, not just thrash through with him. And then the music happens better that way. You don't force it out.
Yeah. So now let me ask you this. What's your opinion as far as like young cats nowadays who don't want to learn how to read music or, just just play by ear?
There's a lot of good guys that don't read, and man, they can play, and you go see them play sometimes, and it sounds great. They got chops, and they can solo or they can groove, but not everybody wants to take all the time to tell you what your part is and to tell you the changes when someone can come in and read. They can just read it right away. Like, I can read. So someone might call me to play some tunes that maybe they're not that easy, or maybe the form doesn't repeat.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, when you don't learn how to read, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot in a way, because you're saying, I'm going to turn down all this work that I could be getting from people that write original music that needs to be read. Because the rote system, ROTE, which is, just verbally, like in Trinidad, the big steel bands, they spend all day learning by rote and teaching by rote and just dictating the parts verbally or playing them and repeating them, and that can take all day. And so if I'm writing music, why am I going to call you when I got to explain it to you all day long when I could call such and such and say, here's the music, and then they can read it. All right, first take done. All right, here's another chart. All right, great. And then you're out of there in 2 hours instead of you had to spend 3 days and you had to get such a headache just learning it from the CD, which is important, A lot of times I have to sight read something, or I have music that I'm given that I have to learn. Maybe I can't sight read everything because it might be really tricky. But I learn it, and the person that's hiring me doesn't have to worry about me fumbling on the parts because they told me what I had to do. They say, here's this music, you got to learn it, and we're going to play it on Saturday at this recording session or at this concert. So I'll get the call before someone that maybe, is also really, really great player and can solo great and inspire people to great levels with their beautiful playing, but they never took the time to learn how to read, so they've cut themselves out of a whole slew of opportunities.
Yeah. So what's up next for you, Big J? What you got going on in it? What you got planned for your future?
I got a couple gigs in Chicago next week. And then some gigs with Ramsey Lewis and John Pizzarelli.
Yeah.
For in California later this week, and I'm working on some original music, and I'm gonna put out some CDs and lead my own band. And do like what Ramsey Lewis is doing. And
well, what's the name of the band?
The Joshua Ramos Group.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about it. What kind of music you gonna do? Straight ahead or contemporary, or you just gonna do like some rap?
Well, there's gonna be funk influences.
Yeah.
I've made on my computer a couple tracks that are funky, kind of Marcus Miller inspired.
Oh yeah.
With some old school, and then I love Latin music and jazz too. So there's gonna be elements of Latin salsa from Puerto Rico, which is where I'm from, Brazilian music, funk, gospel, and jazz. I mean, that's pretty much what I play: gospel, funk, jazz, Brazilian, and Latin music.
You said salsa. Say that again.
Salsa.
Salsa from where you from? Where from?
I'm from Chicago, but I'm Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican. Well, I'm from St. Louis, and we say salsa.
Salsa works too.
Yeah, get some salsa. Put some salsa on it. Yeah. Hey, John, so give your information on how people can find you, man, and just network with you and talk to you. If maybe one day you have the Big J School of Music or something.
Yeah, maybe,
how can they find you? You got a website and Facebook and Twitter and all that type of noise.
You could find me Joshua Ramos on Facebook. I don't have a Twitter account, and I'm working on a website. Or you can email me at bassramos@yahoo.com as well.
All right, y'all. This your boy Jay Ross in St. Louis, hanging out with my cat, y'all. Joshua, I call him Ramos, y'all, because you know we from the hood. And your boy, we 10 million strong, y'all, and we gone. Peace.
Peace.